was found in Liverpool, was taken to A&E, and I was there with my family, and recurrent depression. It's going to happen again. It's going to come back again. Yeah, we're learning all that we can to deal with it and to manage it, but it is going to come back again. And when you're in the depths of it, when you're in the throes of that episode, the futility is incredible, Adrian. Honestly, sat there in hospital with my wife, my parents, mother-in-law, brother, all showering me, my sisters, all showering me with love, and.
You can't believe you're putting them through it. It's
incredible. I can't believe not only that I'm putting them through it, but the fact that we're going to do it again and again and again. So when you're in that frame of mind, honestly, I thought it was better for all concerned just to end it all.
So at that moment, you were kind of full of regret that you hadn't managed to sort of end it all in that missing 12 hours.
Yeah, it's bizarre. It's really bizarre. I went to Liverpool, and we talked earlier briefly, and a little bit of awareness is kind of like a dangerous thing. It can be a dangerous thing, but in this instance, it changed my life, because we talked about my previous suicide attempt where I put myself in front of a truck, dehumanizing the fact that there is a driver in that truck. It's one of the biggest regrets of decisions that I've made in illness. So this time I'm strolling around Liverpool trying to find a responsible way to die, trying to find the most responsible way where it's not going to affect members of the public, it's not going to affect first responders, it's not going to traumatize anyone. So when I was found in Liverpool, I was still headstrong set on the most convenient and responsible way to kill myself. And I think that saved my life. It saved my life because there were many opportunities that I saw that day to attempt suicide, but I figured that it would be best if I did it quietly in one of the abandoned warehouses there where my body would never be found. Incredible, Adrian. I didn't know what was going on because I didn't have my phone with me. Obviously, I was lurking in the shadows, looking for this place and that place, and just trying to mind my own business.
So you're trying to find somewhere to kill yourself.
Yes, yeah. And this car pulled up when I was sat in a park, and a guy came over and he said, "Oh, I thought it was you." He said, "Your family's looking for you." Obviously, I'd guessed as much, but I didn't know the extent of how far it had gone. And
in the media and stuff.
Yeah, and this guy, sadly for him, his friend had killed himself a few days earlier. And he said, "I thought this was you," and I could not go by not checking, because he'd heard the state that I was in, and he just wanted to help. And I didn't want his help, Adrian. I didn't want his help sat in that park, but this guy came and sat next to me, hugged me, he cried on my shoulder, just urging me to get in touch with my family.
When you managed to, go on, just take a little breather. Do feel free to blow your nose into my handkerchief. I love you that much, Clarke. You can definitely do that. So, Carrie, where were you at this time?
Oh my goodness! So I'm very pregnant. It's not a glandular thing. Very loud. Yeah. And so everyone else was out looking for Clarke, and I was very pregnant, so I was at home, and the only number that Clarke remembered was our landline, and I didn't expect to hear from him again. To be honest, I thought that was it, and. So I was sat at home waiting for the police to ring, not waiting for, someone to ring from Liverpool. This bloke rang up and said, "Are you Clarke's wife?" And I thought, oh gosh, it's because the press had been turning up all day. And I thought, don't be rude. It's not their fault. And I said, yes, I am. I said, oh, I'm sat with him. I thought, you can't be. It's ridiculous. Can I talk to him? And he was in a distressed state. He couldn't talk. And he said, my friend killed himself a couple of days ago. We're sat with him. And I heard his voice, and it was literally the best moment of my life, to be honest, because I never thought I'd hear him again, even though he sounded really poorly. And these wonderful gentlemen stayed with him I didn't know what to do next, you know. So what do you do when your husband's that poorly? Where do you take him? What's the next step? You should know that when you've got a mental health charity. Didn't have a clue. But these two wonderful men, you know, they stayed with him. They persuaded him to ring me, and then they waited until our family went to get him. They were angels. They were little Scouse angels, honestly.
Little Scouse angels.